Hey there! You all remember seeing this tray of tubes, Nixie tubes. Yes, I went through these, did a very rough sort to see what I had. And, yeah, it seemed like a successful video. People seemed to like it. Anyway, there was a dud in here. This guy right here. A National NL842, and it's got the tip busted off. That's sad. Anyway, I figured, let's break it open, kind of see what's going on in there. So let's have some fun with this. We're going to see how good the camera here, actually, it's just my phone. Little secret there. See how the camera does with relatively close-up shots. So what I'm going to do is wear your safety glasses. We're going to break some glass here. And if I could get this dumb little bag open. Come on, come on. What we're going to do is we're going to break the glass and basically dissect this thing. So, okay. I put it in a little plastic bag. And oh, the humanity. You better turn away if you're squeamish. Now, of course, you know, there's no vacuum or low pressure in here because, well, the tip is off. But still, I don't want to get glass all over the place. So, let's see if we can break this thing. Come on. Probably going to be tougher than it looks. And it's going to be slippery than it looks, too. There we go. I want to use this this clamp here. So the elements don't get damaged. So let me get this thing out. Okay, that's a pretty clean break. Let's clean it up a little bit. All right, let's see how close we can get in on this. Get out of the picture. You too. And you. Good, didn't get cut. Alright, so, see how well this focuses. Not well at all. I think I need a better background. Anyway. Yeah, it just is not focusing. Well, no. There we go. I take my hand away. Yeah, it still works. Okay, so the parts of a Nixie tube. Now, I should say this is not a real Nixie tube. It's a National, which means, well, first of all, National does not mean National Union. National Union did make Nixie-like tubes. They were called, I think, Indutrons. I've got one. They didn't work too well. They were incredibly hard to use. But they were very much the same idea of illuminated numbers with gas, basically plasma. No, National is more or less the house brand of Richardson Electronics. Richardson, who is, I think, still around, bought up companies as they were going under. And they rebranded a lot of tubes. Now, this particular one with this style base on it, kind of the, what is that, 13 pin? I think this is actually a Raytheon design, CK 1900 something. Anyway, well, I think you can see, well, just a quick primer in how Nixies work for those that don't know. Basically, there's no filament. It's kind of like a neon tube. You apply high voltage. There is a little bit of, well, there's supposed to be a little bit of low pressure gas, generally neon, but sometimes they used other slight mixes of gases, but mostly neon based. And one side there would be an anode and there'd be a cathode. And the cathode, you put DC, current limited DC, around 180 volts or so is when they'd fire, 170 I think. current limited high voltage. You turned it on, and it would create basically a glow around the cathode. And what you did was, as you can see, all those numbers in there. Well, you've seen Nixie tubes. All those cathodes there, you select the cathode. It's the shape of a numeral or sometimes a symbol, and it glows. And this here, I'm using a pair of dikes for a pointer. The screen here is the anode. Well, let's just take a look and see at the construction of this thing. You can see we have a spacer on top, mica spacer on top. And of course you need something in the back, because you do need, well, something to show the number against. You can't really have just the numbers just floating around in air, because they don't look particularly good. So here you can see they did have a bit of mica in the back. It's probably coated with carbon or something like that, just to give a backdrop, essentially. Now we can see this extremely fine screen here, which is of course the anode, and that's part of the circuit. Now I'm going to start ripping this thing apart. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend these back, get them out of the way. And here you can see ceramic spacers. There are a couple of posts there and there that kind of hold everything together. On the very ends of the posts here, you can see the anode is connected. And then, focus, there we go. You can see that the cathode, the numerals, connect to the post, but there's a little high voltage ceramic spacer to keep everything isolated, basically keep everything apart, because you want only one numeral at a time. That was one of the problems with the National Union Indutrons was, yeah, they really like to, you had to drive it very carefully. You wanted to keep only one numeral on, and that was very difficult with the National Union tubes. And you had to have a very fussy circuit to keep things from firing inadvertently. Anyway, let's see if we can take this thing apart. Looks like they've got a welded disc at the end of the post, which there's going to be a certain amount of destruction here. It kind of acts as like a cap. That get it? We get the screen off? Yeah, I'm going to cut the screen just a little bit. It's very fine metal. I don't know what type of metal this is. There we go. You can see, I don't know if you can even see that mesh. Yeah, a little bit. And there, oh, looks like it's starting to fall apart here. If we just bend that upper post up and start taking the numbers out, I think. Can we? Not quite. They're still held a little bit. Let's see if we can shake some of the pieces off. Ah, yeah, that's right, because we have connections down here. There we go. We just lost the 3. Let's see if we can pick it up. This is a very fine piece of metal here. There we go. I'm going to put it on my hand there. There's the 3. Of course, it's not going to focus, is it? Just a little too close. But you can see the construction here. They've got these pieces, which are, I don't know if they've been stamped out or if they've been chemically etched. It's a little hard to tell. But you can see, there, that shows up nicely. No, it doesn't. Go into focus, please. There we go. You can see we have a post on the bottom and a post on the top that holds it together. And the connections are made to the pins at the bottom. See if we can get some more out of here. Looks like the 7 wants to go. Looks like more than the 7 wants to go. The 5. Okay, we got a 5. Let's see if we can get that light shining off. There we go. Oh, we had it for a minute there. There we go. There, it shows it again. Nice, nice. I'm going to guess that's probably etched metal rather than stamped. I would think it would be very difficult to make a die that could stamp that. Maybe you could do it in several stamping cycles. But yeah. And you can see that on the bottom here, they've got mica to basically hold all those connections to where the welds are on the pins. So pretty basic device here, but very nicely made. And yeah, these things were a lot of these parts were hand built, more or less. I don't think this stuff ever got very mechanized. It was just tedious little work with tiny pieces of metal. So there you have it. This guy here hopefully did not die in vain. You know, who knows when the tip broke off? Could have been years and years ago. But hopefully this shows you a little bit about how these guys actually are built inside. Let's see if we can get the 8 out. Very clever construction to minimize all the bits and pieces. Oh, gosh, this is very thin metal. And I'm going to focus. There we go. There we got the 8. We've got the 8. And yeah, another thing that's interesting is, yes, it's basically these stamped out numerals. Well, you could put whatever stampings you wanted in there. So when you get the ones that have V and A and K, the ones that are used in multimeters, it's just a different set of stampings. There's nothing really different about the tube. All right, well, yeah, hopefully this guy here didn't die in vain and showed a little bit about the internal constructions. We can see we've got some scribbles there. L14912, yeah, probably lot codes or something like that. You can barely see them on the camera. They're scratched into the mica. Actually, a lot of tubes, if you look at them, they'll have handwritten things. They're just lot codes, internal, to help the manufacturing process. And once it leaves the factory, those numbers don't mean a thing anymore. All right, well, I guess there's nothing more for this guy. And I hope you like this kind of interesting dissection of a Nixie tube, even though, like I said, this is not a real Burroughs Nixie. It's a Raytheon. But the Burroughs ones are pretty similar, Okay, well, I hope you like this, and I guess you go into the garbage now. And hey, if you like this video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, maybe check out some of the past videos, share it around, and leave a comment or whatever. I read them all. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye now.